Well, everybody, welcome. I'm so glad you're here with me, and I'm excited that we get to do another review of a Book of Boba Fett from the Star Wars Legion side of things and looking at it in a different way. First of all, I just want to remind you that I am giving away a 3D printed building for Star Wars Legion terrain, a piece of terrain that you can use in your Star Wars Legion, and so I'm giving that away for anybody who likes, subscribes, and comments in the video. There's a few people already entered in. They've commented on a couple of videos, this or any of the videos that I show that piece of terrain in, and I will be doing the draw in March, and I'll get a hold of the people that have done this. We've been working on a tournament, the True North tournament. There's been a lot going on there. We have finished the first 2 rounds, but we will get those videos up for you. It's, editing time's been a little bit more. We were going to go to live with them, but my internet in my town is so brutal. Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad. Whole series was great. As you saw in my intro, that it was more about Mandalorian and than it was about Boba, but not really. There's so much going on that is really to do with Boba Fett, that we just all hidden stuff as it goes. There's a lot of Easter eggs in this one, a ton of things that, I don't know if you want to call them Easter eggs, but throwbacks to the original series, and so it's been a very good series. So we enter with a silhouette behind these plastic screens, and you see the spear, and we see that it is about to be the Mandalorian. And so the Mandalorian steps through the things, and you see a meat packing factory. There's a first time in Star Wars world we've seen a meat packing factory. Now, you can't tell by the hanging meat what they are, but we know from the concept art that those were Nerfs. And, that's a throwback to, you scruffy looking Nerf herder. And, so that's really just one of those first little tie-ins, and there's so many good things here. And he walks in, and this is like those classic gangster things, in the butchery, in the meat factory, and he's gonna walk in and butcher people, and so we see this real struggle, and he does his original line, I can bring you in, warm or cold, or hot or cold. Anyways, the point is he throws back to the first season, the very first thing we see, and he's back out on the bounty hunt. Then he lights up the darksaber, which we knew he had, but people were wondering if he kept it or if there was anything that went, but he lit it up, and he struggled with it, really struggled with it. And it reminds me of Sabine Wren, when her struggles with the darksaber, and early on, and when she was training, she couldn't have it. He even slices his leg, and I've always, thought as a kid I could handle a lightsaber, but I thought, man, I'm probably gonna cut off my own limb or something. And so we see the struggle, and I think this is showing the struggle of who is the rightful ruler of the Mandalorians. And so from Star Wars Legion prospect, so far we've got some goons, but there's not a lot going on there. Most of what we see in this one are things that we've already got hinted to, or that we're going to have in Star Wars Legion. But it is exciting to see these little things. I've always wondered what our Nerf looked like. It'd be nice to see a live one too, or like getting ready to slaughter or something. I don't know, but it was it's just answered the question. The concept art at least answered the question. And so but then we go into the scene where he's leaving. He's got the bounty's head, and he's bringing it out, and all these people are like, should we fight him or should we not? And he kind of says, well, the money's in the other room. And they're like, well, it's better to be alive and have money. So then he goes and he gets back to where he's given the bounty. And this is one of the most amazing long shots we see in a long time in Star Wars. And it's just no cuts. It's just amazing. And how he just pivots, and that's just something that we can do now with the technology that's out there for computers and stuff like that. And so it was just one of those amazing, great shots. And so then he goes and he follows the symbols to the armor. Now, this is where the story actually gets really good. And this is where we start to see a little bit what's going on. And so you can see in the pictures up here, I've got some pictures. They're going to rotate through, and I'm going to talk a little bit about this whole situation. And I want you to understand a few things here, that there is such a play in words and stuff here. And so the armor, starts saying, what's that weapon that caused that? And so the reality is I just, it's bringing the darksaber. And then Vizsla had to bring the Darksaber to the armor, and he's like holding it, and he's like, "This is my family's. This is rightfully mine." And so he's bringing it there. Now they talk about Bo-Katan. They talk a little bit about Sabine, and then the reality is there's so many little hidden things here. Like one, they tell us about the purge, something that that we needed to know a little bit more about. But there is some slight little things. Now I want to talk about the Darksaber for a second, because we don't know who really the rightful ruler of it right now, or the holder of it is. But she mentioned some things here about the legend, and I want to first of all point to the direction of that armor, and I think that armor is Rook Kath. Now, I know there's other people saying that too, and there's some good reason, but I think that's Rook Kath, and we see Rook Kath in this picture. She was one of the people that stayed loyal to Maul during the Death Watch, and they were up on the moon, and I believe that's why she's so upset with Bo-Katan, and I think there's going to be some sort of like fight between her and Bo-Katan, because Bo-Katan was Death Watch and she pulled away, and she didn't rightfully have the Darksaber. She was given it to by Sabine Wren, and Sabine Wren really didn't rightfully have it either. And so anyways, get back to that. There's a fight that happens, and he's trying to win the sword for himself, but he doesn't want to release the sword. So therefore, because of his stubbornness to hold the sword, he actually loses. Why I think the armor is Maul is because look at the horns under thing. It's a throwback to when Maul had them, and they're right there in that picture. That's who I think it is, Rook Kath. The second in command there, the one that stayed loyal, and that's who I think it is. And so that's my theory, and I would like to see Rook Kath in Legion, but we are going to see her because we are getting Darth Maul and his things. Now, the question is, when she was telling the story about the Mythosaur and the legends, the last time they did something like that, they kind of introduced, it was Star Wars Rebels, and they introduced us Grand Admiral Thrawn. Now, here's the thing. The legend in that it could be that the proper owner of the sword is Jango Fett. Because in Legends, Jango Fett had wielded that sword, the Darksaber, and so I'm wondering if this whole thing is leading up to that Boba Fett is going to be the new ruler of Mandalorians, and he's going to be, because the first time they showed that when they first introduced him, he proved that he actually was Mandalorian. So they reconned that, because for a little while he was saying he wasn't even Mandalorian. And so they've got him being Mandalorian, and then they showed his gene chain. And technically, if the sword goes by like DNA, he's got the exact DNA of Jango Fett. So I don't know. Like I'm not sure, but I think that the Darksaber is going to end up in Boba Fett's hand, and he's going to create this crime lord and reestablish the new homeworld for Mandalorians. Wouldn't it be cool? They reestablish on Tatooine. That's kind of cool. Anyways, we're going to keep moving. So he gets in some commercial flight and has to unload all his weapons and stuff. And then he gets to the wonderful little hangar where he gets all his work done. And so, he going there to get his new ship, and he was thinking he was going to get another Razor Crest, but he ended up getting presented a N1 Starfighter. Now, this is something that you might see, a upgraded N1 Starfighter in X-Wing. I don't play X-Wing, but that's just something you might see, a little faster, a little cooler things. But if you look down in the corner here, I got some pictures going, and I wanted to highlight, first of all, R5, the savior of the whole galaxy. I love him. I didn't get to talk to him the other day. He was in a couple other times. We all know R5 from New Hope. And so as we're getting down here, though, I want you to take a look at that. That there is a picture of BD1. Now, I don't ever think the directors of this show just throws things in by chance. I think they're hinting to, the fact that Cal Kestis is going to be in a live action soon. I think they're going to do some sort of show. And there's the droid, that's kind of like the BD-1. It's not the BD-1, but Rombrat jumps out and grabs it, and Mandalorian comes in, boom, pops it off. Now, here's the reality of things. One of my viewers asked me, do you think that this could have been the same N1 fighter that Anakin Skywalker flew? And, I thought about that, and I said, well, that'd be cool if it was, but we know it can't. I don't think it can be. So then I did a little bit of research and looked at the pictures here. And if you can see in the next couple pictures, you're going to see this right here. And as they're sitting in the cockpit, they give a good shot of the wording underneath the cockpit where the pilot gets in, and it's usually like pilot names or something like that, and or something to do with that. And you can see clearly in the shot, and if you get to blow up the other shot of the one that Anakin Skywalker's in, you can see that they're not the same wording at all. So it is not the same one that Anakin Skywalker was in. It cannot be Padme, because Padme's is all chrome. It looks more like Padme's now that he's done that chrome with a little bit of yellow, which is great. It's beautiful. It's not the most practical, but maybe it'll be fun for being a bounty hunter, I'm talking about. But they got, like, if you can see up top, I got a little picture of Grogu in the top, and it's just, one of the, so right here you can see the wordings right across there. And then if you look at the next shot, the wordings are definitely different. So they're different wordings right there, just under the Anakin, and a different 3 little prong thing where R2 is. So we know that it's not the same one. That's just to answer my viewer who asked the question, Ethan. Now, this thing that Jawas brings, this is another one of those Easter eggs, because that's the exact same thing that you see in New Hope. They're trying to hold open the garbage disposal area and just keep themselves alive. And it's like, R2, turn it off, and they, it's just classic. I love it. I love some of the throwbacks they're doing. They're doing a good job of, satisfying some niches and things like that. But in reality, for Legion, there's not a lot here unless they get a couple new droids, or unless the Cal Kestis comes to Star Wars Legion, which would be kind of cool. I would really like Cal Kestis as another Rebel Jedi, because we could use other Jedis other than Luke. The reality is, I would be happy with any other Force user as well. So that'd be kind of cool, even if they're a little weaker, just to give it a different variety. I see a little too much of Luke sometimes, and so that's kind of the thing. Now let's move along here. I have to tell you about all the throwbacks for like episode 1 with all the pod racing themes. You got them, you saw them. There's so much there. They're going through the same course, and even Beggar's Canyon, all that throwbacks. It's there. It's wonderful. It's nice. I liked it. It was good. And then it just disappears. And of course the 2 Rangers of the Republic. That's kind of cool when they come up beside them. And I do like the Kim's Variety guy. Kim's Convenience, and so just another Canadian on the show. It's just kind of cool. But let's get back to the next part. And so here we are. We're talking about the end, and here, Lennox Shen says, hey, what you? And he says, well, I'm going to go see my little friend. And so we know that he's going to go see Grogu, and then he's going to be a part of this. Now, my question is, I wonder if Cobb Vanth is going to help these guys too, if he's going to join the thing. It'd be kind of cool to see all 3 of them kind of there together, and I like Cobb Vanth, and that's one guy I'd love to see, the Marshal in Star Wars Legion. It'd be kind of a cool little character. I just think he'd make a great character, and so this is one of the things that I really think that I would like to see anyways. But there is so much in this episode that's just like sugar. But if you think the reality of this is, it wasn't a lot of Boba Fett. Boba Fett wasn't on the screen lots, but it had so much to do with the deeper story of Boba Fett. And so, I think it sets up some things for The Mandalorian season 3 as well. But I really think it's setting Boba Fett to be the next wielder of the Darksaber. At least that's where I see it going. And that's just my thoughts and my opinions. And I think that's what we're going to be seeing from this. So thank you guys for being a part of this. If you stayed this long, please take the time to enter your name into the draw, because I really would love to give you one of these. I see a couple of episodes coming up. I'm going to be talking about the trophy, the board. I'm working on my Lothal board. I finished a 3x3 section. I will show you some pictures of that, but there's going to be a full how to make it. I made the whole 3x3 section in 24 hours, and so they're not hard to make boards. They can turn out really good. You'll see it in the battle wraps, but I can show you cheap and easy ways. I made my whole 3x3 board, minus the 3D printing cost, obviously, but I made the whole board for about $10. And that's just because I was able to use a lot of scrap and different things. And that $10 is mainly glue and paint and stuff like that. So I'm going to be able to walk you through that, and I'm excited to be able to share that with you. So please like, subscribe, comment, because I want to give you one of these beautiful huts that I've 3D printed. And so I want to be able to get your name in there and give you that. And so please do that. And thank you for being a part of what we're doing. And I hope you have a wonderful day and enjoy the Book of Boba Fett.